So, after doing a couple of great reviews, that being some Power Rangers and a bunch of Sonic figures, you're probably wondering, where do we go from here? Well, it's time to go back to that pile once again of requested toy reviews and pull one out of the hat. And let's see what we have today. And the results are... one big pile of shit. Enjoy. Sammy Rider 100, sorry for the long absence, but I have my reasons why I couldn't get to this review until now. Red is powered back with another toy review of so-called epic proportions. That being the fact that we have finally hit rock bottom when it comes to Playmates Toys' brand new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles figures. And I mean, the show is great, the figures are great, but now we get to what I said, rock bottom. This is low, and I mean real low. Low for Playmates Toys. I mean really, when it comes to figures of today, this is by far the lowest that I've seen in a long time. That coming from somebody who collects Jazzware figures, which do have quality issues, this is pretty bad. I mean it. Very bad. Very bad indeed. So we're going to start this off from the best to the worst. And that being in the fact, we're going to be reviewing 4 figures in this review as requested by Sammy Rider 100. Today we are going to be reviewing the Shredder, a Foot Soldier, the Kraang, and Master Splinter. So, let's get this started, shall we? This is going to be one hell of a party. So here's the Shredder. Not much I can really say. I mean, the sculpt is pretty nice, the paint job is pretty good. It does have its sloppiness in some areas, but I really can't fault Playmates for that. I never really could understand why these spikes at the bottom of his shoes are actually, you know, why are they sticking down? I mean, just look at that. I mean, it looks like his foot's about to get rammed right through him. I mean, just look at that. I never could understand that. Even if that is what they look like in the show, I just thought like maybe the design would look a lot better and more understandable if they actually were flipped up. It's just dangerous. But whatever, it is what it is. I'm not the creator, so I'm not responsible for anything that goes wrong. But so far, the show's been pretty damn good. But the figures, on the other hand, while they do have their good areas, there's also some of those bad ones. So, yeah, you'll notice that the head sculpt is not accurate whatsoever. It's got some of its charm, but the rest of it is just terrible. And look at this. We're talking about a copyright of Scorpion here. He's got no eyes. Look at that. He's got no eyebrows. As a matter of fact, he really doesn't have a face. I mean, just, jeez. I guess I couldn't expect too much coming from a 5-inch figure, but we're going to get to the real problem right here, right now. Articulation is pretty crappy. I mean, it's good from the top. Don't get me wrong. It's great from the top. But we'll get to it. It's coming. So yeah, he's got a swivel joint at the head. No ball joint, sadly. He's got some articulation to the armor, but that's only to get more clearance for his arms. That's really it there. He's got ball jointed shoulders, so they go inside and outside. They go up and down. He's got rotation, believe it or not, at the elbow, which is a nice touch. Since it does look like he does have a bicep cut up here. Sadly though, that's just the way the arms are molded. So yeah, he's got wrist rotation, which is nice. And he's got waist rotation, which is also great. But that's it. I really hate to say it, but that's really it when it comes to the articulation. Unless, you know, sorry that I didn't include the legs. They're on a ball joint. They go up, they go down, they go in and out. And that's it. No knee bends. No feet rotation. None of that goodness. That's it. That's all you get out of this figure. Well, okay, you do get accessories. You get a sword. That's it. Just a plain, simple katana sword, which you're going to see a lot in this review. And, I really hate to say it, but you guys were complaining about Jazzwares and their Excalibur, Sonic, and Sir Lancelot figures not being able to hold their swords. Look at this. This is worse. This is worse. Look at that. I got it completely in the center of his fingers, and yet, look at that. Look at that. Okay. Yeah. That's really it. I really can't give any points to this figure. I mean, yeah, he's recommended only because it's a freaking Shredder, and you need some villains for these turtle figures to fight. So, I just, you know, if you really need the Shredder, then go out and get him. Really, just go out and get him. Customizers are probably going to have a hell of a lot of fun with this figure. Trust me. I mean, he could use some articulation at the legs, definitely. Which will probably make him look a lot better. And to be honest, the head looks like it's kind of a little too small. Just a little too small. There is another Shredder figure out there, a sound effects one that's about 6 inches. Maybe you should try taking that head off and replacing this one with that one. Maybe it might look better. It'll definitely look more show accurate, I'll give you that. But it does have its works as well. So I really, like I said, I can recommend him, but only if you need the Shredder, which you pretty much do if you collect the Ninja Turtle figures. If not, just wait until Playmates releases another Shredder that's probably more show accurate and got better articulation. Sooner or later. So that's it for the Shredder. Let's bring in the second best, which is none other than his army, the Foot Soldier. So, yeah, pretty cartoon accurate. I will admit that the black isn't as black as it could have been. This is more like a grayish black. They should have made it just black. Black as his weapon. Speaking of weapons, look familiar? Oh, no? Alright, we'll try this. Look familiar now? Shredder's weapon is none other than the Foot's weapon, so it's kind of like what came first, the chicken or the egg. Well, I believe this came first, because this is what Shredder came with, but all the Foot Soldier figures come with this very same sword. And they also have a knife, which is pretty nice, I guess. Nice additional weapon. And they do fit pretty snug inside the sheath, which is pretty cool. And the sheath is actually removable. But if you leave it off, it looks like one of the turtles ran their weapons through a Foot Soldier's back. I'm just saying. So I just leave that peg in, like so. Articulation on the Foot Soldier is, it's not a ball joint, sadly. It's just a swivel. It's got, you know, the basics. A ball jointed shoulder. Goes in any position you want. He's got elbow rotation, and that's it. No elbow bend, sadly. I mean, yeah, the villains get chipped out, don't they? So, wrist rotation, waist rotation, ball jointed legs, up, back, in and out, and pretty much he's got the Shredder virus. That's it. That's it for articulation. No knee joints, no foot joints, and I forgot to show this off with the Shredder. One foot is sticking in the air again. What is this? Late 80s? Early 90s? Oh, come on. This really hurts when it comes to stability-wise. I mean, when you're trying to display your figures, this is the only pose you can really get them in is straight. And Shredder, since the way his leg is actually designed, one's longer than the other, so he's got to be sliding a little bit. But one false movement, and they're just going to fall down like they've been doing on the Sewer Lair playset, which I'll get to eventually, if requested by some of you out there. Can I recommend the Foot Soldier? Yes, I can, just to build up your army, but, I mean, they need some work. They really do need some leg joints. Now we get to the real crappy figures. The Kraang. The Kraang. Not Crane. Not the Crane that everybody knows, just the Kraang. The army's called the Kraang, with 2 A's. My God. Where do I go about this figure? It looks great. It really does, don't get me wrong. The sculpting is pretty nice, very cartoon accurate. I do like that. But this should be the last one on this review as the worst. But I will give them pointers for this. The Kraang figure is actually removable. You can remove the brain. So that's nice. Definitely homage to the original Ninja Turtles cartoon and toy line. So yeah, he's a little squishy brain. And there's also this big gap at the bottom of him where you can fit him over things like Metalhead, for instance. Like, I'll go ahead and show him off. There you go. I got Metalhead. Yeah, so now you know. He really doesn't fit over Metalhead just because of how small he is, but you get the idea. Just like in the show, he was able to control Metalhead. Or one of them was able to control Metalhead. There's more than one. There's a whole army of these guys. I wonder if there will be a real Kraang in the show. I guess we'll see. But he can fit back in nice and easily. His tentacles stick out because they can't fit in all the way. He's kind of tilted, but that's just this one figure. I've got plenty. And for his articulation, it's okay. He's got ball joints right here. So yeah, he does more than the Foot Soldier and the Shredder at the head. Now we suffer. Ball jointed elbows, but just because of the way they're designed, they don't go in and out, but they do rotate. No wrist rotation, no elbow rotation, no bicep swivel or anything like that. No waist rotation. He's got the standard up and down positioning with the legs. But that's it. They don't go in and out. No ball joints. They look like he looks like he's got ball jointed knees, but he doesn't. They don't bend. They don't move. They don't rotate. They don't do anything. The feet don't do anything. This one foot's sticking in the air. So that's the only pose you can really get him in. And for his weapons, I'll give him points to this. They do look pretty show accurate, and they do look pretty damn good in his hands. Unfortunately, though, he suffers through stability reasons. I mean, he really does suffer. He can hold his weapons, but only in this pose. That's it. And one false move. Okay, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Okay, that's fine. It happens a lot. He just falls. He loses stability eventually. Can I recommend this figure only to build an army? That's it. Now look at this. Look what I just found. Look at that. One of the tentacles to the Kraang just ripped off. That's just great. That's quality issue right there. He's too rubbery. A little too rubbery. Gotta be gentle with these figures, guys. They're just like Jazzwares. That's a joke. And last but not least, not the worst. The worst goes to the Kraang. But this is the one that I want to show last because I did a little modification work. Master Splinter. Which is pretty small. There you go. Master Splinter. Notice the difference between mine and yours? Yeah, look at the head sculpt. Much more cartoon accurate, eh? Eh? Look at that. Yeah. Yeah. I gave him whiskers as well. Yeah. Pretty nice. Took me a while, and this is the reason why I couldn't do this review. So my apologies to the requester. Now let's go through his articulation since he only comes with one accessory, which is this nice clear stand. That's it. This one little stick is all he comes with, but it is nice. I do like the fact that it's transparent. Very nice touch, and that's the way it is in the show as well. So I was really amazed. So, articulation for Master Splinter is his head does swivel, though. Whoa! Woo! Woo! You did not just see that. I did not decapitate Master Splinter. Okay, maybe it's not completely set yet. I guess I'm just gonna have to re-glue it again. His head does swivel. Oh my god. Head swivels, ball jointed shoulders, elbow rotates, wrists do nothing. No waist rotation unless of course you go from underneath the robe, which then you do get a waist rotation, so that's pretty nice. Legs, just like Shredder, Foot Soldier, and the Kraang, they go up, they go down, they go in and out. That's a little different from the Kraang. And his tail is what really suffers. It's the only thing that really keeps him stable since he's doing the 1 foot in the air thing. It does rotate around, but it comes off really easily. Maybe that's just mine, I don't know. It's a QC problem, but that's the only thing that really keeps Master Splinter's, it keeps Master Splinter standing up. Wow, this has been a long one. But this is long overdue! I gotta fix that. Oh, wow. So yeah, that's really it. The only last thing that I could actually do is a quick size comparisons with a couple of figures. So let me just go ahead and get all four in the picture. Oh, you're probably wondering, is Master Splinter recommended? You know what? He was crappy at first. After I did the modification, he looks better, but still overall, he's still a crappy figure. I mean, Playmates really cheaped out on this one. I mean, the head sculpt on him looks nowhere near accurate unless you do a little paint job like I did. So here's all 4 of them with a quick size comparisons between Raphael, Metalhead, which is pretty good in scale like in the show, and just for something that's out of the norm, Halo 4 Series 1 Grunt Storm, or Storm Grunt, whichever one you want to call it. So yeah, as you can see, they're pretty big, but should they be this big for what articulation they're given? Not really. I don't know whether or not, completely, to be honest, these figures, whether you are a completist, whether or not you need them to build your army and stuff, those are the only reasons why you should touch these figures. If not, then just wait until new ones are made and released in future waves of this new line by Playmates Toys. But I've gone on about this long enough. That's it for these figures. Get them out of here. Let's get on to something better, which I'm sure everybody's probably been expecting for a while now, since this is a beast. And I mean a fucking beast. So until next time, this is Red is Power signing out. I want to thank everyone for watching, and I will see you next time.